There we go. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Let me turn the music down. Um, Welcome to another podcast, or well, not really podcast, more just talking stream. Um, if you've noticed, this now does have an official name. Um, its name is now Mouthwash. Um, and I'll take you to the live screen so you can look at me. Um, there we go. Good lord, I pressed the wrong, but there we go. um, Hello everyone. But yes, this is now called Mouthwash. This is my new live show that I'm going to start doing every Monday. Hopefully, depending on how work goes for me. But I'm going to be doing this every Monday at 3 o'clock, hopefully. If not, then I'll keep you updated in Twitter and on my Discord and all of that. But usually we'll be doing this on Mondays, and I'm going to take this as an opportunity to talk about things that you guys want, talk about news, talk about things that I'm passionate about, um, and pretty much anything that I can imagine talking, needing to vent and talk about. Um, so this, um, I'll keep the music kind of going in the background. Um, this stream, this mouthwash will be, um, about the wonderful, wonderful city of Virginia Beach. And of course, I've got paint open in the background. I think that's just going to be the staple of the background of mouthwash for right now, at least. So this is less. I'm less pointing this as a direct rant about my hometown, Virginia Beach, clearly. Um, Less about a rant about my hometown, but more about a rant of connecting the things that happen day to day in my city to urbanism and the push that we need to reduce car dependency, increase density, and just in general have a more sustainable future, which is not the suburbs, the car dependent suburbs that we build nowadays. Um, I'm going to start with making sure that my audio levels are correct on Twitch to make sure that I am not either talking too loud or everything is too quiet. So give me 1 second, I'm going to mute my mic. Oh, good Jesus Christ. Hold on. Okay, that everything seems to be fine. I'm going to start with. I will also be swapping between um, this and Google Maps sometimes. Yes, I use Edge. Leave me alone. I like Edge a lot. Um, Not because clearly Google Chrome's better, but I also get points for looking at things that I can use in the Microsoft stores. So, it's been fine for me so far. Um, I'm also going to keep the map of Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads open, um, just to allow you guys to see what I'm talking about. Um, for those of you who don't know, or at least I'm going to actually turn the layers back on, or labels. So, DC is up here, Richmond, Virginia Beach is this tiny, or Hampton Roads is this tiny little corner of Virginia that no one ever talks about because everyone thinks that Virginia is just full of redneck, like, Trump territory, which really everything other than Blacksburg, Richmond, around DC, and Hampton Roads is just redneck territory. But in the actual urban centers, the only reason Blacksburg is because this is where Virginia Tech is. Um, but these are actual urban cities where sensible human beings live and not rednecks that live out in country over here. Um, Hampton Roads is, or well, I guess I'll start with my first point. Virginia is a very dumb, stupid state. I'll just lay that the groundwork right now. I hate this goddamn state. We this is terrible. But Virginia is a commonwealth, and again, I'm just gonna rant, but you may already know this, but I'm going to say this for the people who don't know. Virginia is a commonwealth, which means that every district in the state of Virginia is its own entity. So every single district has its own school board, has its own police force, has its own fire department, has its own trash collection services. Every single city has to provide its own services compared to, say, something like LA, where LA is a regular state where the city of Los Angeles is one giant district. So it's like LA District Public Schools, not Virginia Beach Public Schools. So I hope you would already see what the issue with being a commonwealth is that since every city, not every like area, every single city is its own jurisdiction, there is no cooperation between jurisdictions because they aren't forced to work together because they're completely separate entities. So this leads into a lot of problems when it comes to trying to do things for the greater good that an individual city does not want. Because this is an example, but we will go into this at some point. Norfolk, which is within, this is Hampton Roads, kind of this whole area that I'm swirling a mouse around right now. This is Hampton Roads, and it's actually seven completely separate districts: Newport News, Hampton, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, um, Virginia Beach. I think I'm missing one. Suffolk, I think. Suffolk? I'm fairly. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, Suffolk. Um, so the Hampton Roads is also quote seven cities. Some people call that sometimes. I keep look, I keep looking at my second monitor that has my Streamlabs open, like I have a webcam and I'm like talking to you, but that's as close as I can get to like talking to a camera. Um, Norfolk is kind of the center. Well, it is the center, but it's mostly the like the actual economic center of if my wonderful mouse would work, the economic center of Virginia or Hampton Roads because it's the biggest like center. But out of all of us, actually out of the entire state, Virginia Beach has the most population. Because Virginia Beach is fucking huge. But example, Norfolk wanted to build mass transit, which we do not have pretty much at all in Hampton Roads. We have a couple buses, but they get stuck in traffic. And of course, that's kind of, how it always happens. But we have terrible bus service. They wanted to build a light rail from downtown Norfolk all the way to the Virginia Beach oceanfront. Norfolk built it because it's in Norfolk's jurisdiction. They greenlit it all they wanted. But Virginia Beach shot it down because all these rich old white people don't like public transit. You can already see my frustration. Um, Most of Hampton Roads is built off of Navy population. So we have two big ones, but we have like a ton of Navy around here. There's Naval Station Oceana, which is a Navy air base. I did not mean to click that. I meant to click labels. Uh, Thank you. I just don't like the labels crowding the way. There's Oceana, which is a giant um, naval air station, not Air Force. It's Navy jets. And then there's Naval Station Norfolk, which is where the East Coast Fleet lives, which is, if my mouse would like to zoom in, aircraft carriers and stuff. So this is the home of the Atlantic Fleet, is Norfolk. So we have a ton of Navy people that live here in Hampton Roads in general. I mean, um, those are kind of the big draws, but one of the big money makers, other than some vague Fortune 500 companies that we have here, one of the main money makers we have is the Virginia Beach oceanfront, which is, if I can compare it to elsewhere in the U.S., Miami Beach, Ocean City, Atlantic City, Long Island, kind of that. It's basically just 40 blocks of resorts. And out of everywhere in the entirety of Virginia Beach, if my mouse would like to, thank you. This is the only like urban place in Virginia Beach or in Hampton Roads that we have, and it's just a line of hotels. Um, this is a huge tax haven for Hampton Roads because people just flock here to go to the beach. Um, but other than the Virginia Beach oceanfront, there's not a whole lot else. So Norfolk wanted to build a light rail, but Virginia Beach shot it down because they can. They have the right to it. It's a commonwealth. They put it up to a vote. Virginia Beach shot it down. I think it was like 55-45. Shot it down. Um, so most of Virginia Beach and almost all of Hampton Roads is so old and so suburban. I say this all the time. It's so old and so suburban that it can't imagine being urban, if that makes sense. There's so much suburbs that were built and are continued to be built that it's almost impossible for the city to become a dense, urban, livable habitat. Um, Virginia Beach had a green belt at one point to try to prevent suburban development, but it has slowly started to creep down into this is all Virginia Beach. This whole down here, then the I think North Carolina line's like right here, down in North Carolina. But this is all Virginia Beach, and eventually this will all be suburbs. But it's just it happens all the time, and Virginia Beach seems to have no plan on stopping it at any point. And that is such a sad thing because of how car dependent this city is. Um, we have absolutely no public transit. And That's because everyone that lives here doesn't want to, or most people, I am not included in that, but most people that live here don't want don't want to pay tax money into public transit because, oh no, there's people that can't afford to have cars. We can't let them get on public transit. No, what? Most of the people that live in Hampton Roads and Virginia Beach in particular are old, rich, white people that live above this line pretty much in this area and kind of this area, but this for the most part because these are gigantic. Can't I'm t- I'm gonna go grab another mouse. Hold on for me 1 second. There, better. Come on. Oh, not stop. Come on. Work. Thank you. Um. There. Logitech. Go away. There we go. So, um, what I was trying to say is most of these houses up here are just disgustingly huge, like mansions. I mean, they are gigantic. And all of these rich people have all the say in the world to prevent other people from not having access to public transit. So, um, let me go back to my. There we go. Um, it would have been. You would imagine you would want to get people to your tax haven to make money for you, right? But Virginia Beach said, no, screw that. We're not going to let that happen. Um, Norfolk did build the light rail. They built it and built it all the way up to the Virginia Beach border, which is if wow. Thanks, Google Maps. Really? I have gigabit internet too. Really? Why? Whatever. Um, right up to the Virginia Beach line, which is pretty much this road right here. Um, yeah, that happens all the time in Virginia Beach. The light rail, which is named the Tide, would have been built on this old abandoned freight rail, which was owned by Norfolk Southern, which runs all the way from downtown Norfolk, literally all the way straight to the ocean front. It was tore up a little bit here, but it literally goes all the way to the Virginia Beach ocean front. Like, how does that not make sense? We don't have public transit. The only public transit we have is buses, and even then, those are just terrible. Um, the highway, the one single highway we have in Virginia Beach, keeps getting wider and wider and wider and wider. and it's 4 lanes. They're gonna make it even more lanes here in the next couple years. Um, where they're gonna widen all the way down to the ocean front, and then it just when the it just dumps onto these streets, onto suburban street, not suburban, but I mean these two 22nd and 23rd just keep just blocked up all the time. Um, and even then, the Laskin Road that comes in here, I do work down here, so I do. I clear and I clearly live here, so I know how I know how the oceanfront's laid out. Um, but even then, the Virginia Beach oceanfront was an afterthought. This never really was supposed to be here because after 40th Street or after 40th Street, it just turns into houses. There's just houses all the way. I mean, there's just a random hotel here, but there's just houses all the way up to Fort Story, which is like 85th Street is up here. There was no. Why would you design? Why would you do your city planning like this? So the only actual urban place that we have is this one tiny block. And yes, currently, this is the tallest building in the entire state of Virginia. And it's a hotel, of all things. It's a Westin. Um, this is the only actual urban place that we, good lord, that we have. And it was built in like 2008, I think. Yeah, 2008, 2009-ish. Um, wow, no, I don't want the, why does it keep turning labels back on? Um, this is the only urban place that we have. And it only exists because one single company bought this land, which used to just be a block of trees, and turned it into a city. So most of the increased development that we have doesn't even happen from the city itself. It happens by private companies. This was all done by one company, which is the company that lives in this building named, wow, you cannot read that, Armada Hoffler. Armada Hoffler built this whole damn block of literally, they built this whole thing because they're a construction company, the real estate construction company. Um, Most of the things that happen to this city are not done with good city planning. They're done on accident, pretty much. So, Virginia Beach has recently put out, or at least was recently reported on, and I found it, a comprehensive plan for their thoughts for how the city of Virginia Beach will look by 2040. And it's so sad. It's just so depressing on how much they think is going to be let happen from this suburban hellhole. And I mean, look, I'll just show you a couple examples of how. One, look at how just unorganized this is. It's just every bit of it is just so suburban. It would be virtually impossible. Norfolk is a little bit, or this is Chesapeake. South Norfolk and most of Chesapeake, kind of some of Chesapeake, is vaguely already in an urban. The grids are straighter, but just Virginia Beach is just all over the place. It literally, I mean, the oceanfront kind of got a little bit of gridding, but it's mostly just trees and suburbs. I'll show you a couple examples of how egregious our roads are. The one highway is 4 lanes, which is huge. This is one of the main ways to go east and west is this gigantic, monstrous 4-lane strode. And it just goes for miles. And it cuts through, it has its own interchange, like it's a highway, and it cuts in half and turns an Alaskan Road, and then Virginia Beach keeps going, or Virginia Beach Boulevard keeps going this way. but it's huge, and it has this intersection with another 8-lane road, and just this intersection is just so big. It's just disgusting. It is disgusting how big this intersection is, and it just goes on for miles in every direction. I know, right? They're just wonderful, wonderful stroads. And this one goes all the way down, and it splits in half too, but these are still big, giant 4-lane stroads. These are literally everywhere in Virginia Beach. This one's a highway, pretty much. This one, too. They're all over the place. Um, and where the city expects more development to be in the future, they built out. Come on, Internet. Keep up with me. See, the stream is fine. It's just Google Maps can't keep up with me. There we go. Where they built out, where they imagine development is going to be in the future, they built out these giant roads which completely have the ability to become 4-lane roads. I mean, they've already got the right of way width to make this 4 lanes on each side. And good lord, I zoomed out farther. Nemo Parkway too. Yeah, Nemo Parkway. Look, this this road, I love this. I found this the other day because I had to drive down here, and I realized it. So this is one of the fairly new things that the city's built. This disgusting giant. Also, look at the woo woo woo. This is 4 lanes, but you can see that they were smart, which not really smart, but they were smart, that to build the bridges to get over these wetlands, to build the bridges, they already let there be space for a 3rd lane on each direction without having to rebuild the entire bridge. So they were already expecting to widen Nemo Parkway into 4 lanes, or into 3 lanes. Look, in here too, you could see where they cut the median in, where you could fit a 3rd lane in the middle. So all they would have to do is just rip up the at grade part, and they wouldn't have to rebuild the bridge. There's so much stuff like this. This is all, like, these parts right here are all the newest suburbs. And you can tell they're new because they're disgusting. Look at these houses. I mean, why? Why do we continue to build such unsustainable, giant houses like this? And this too, I mean, what? It's not even it's not even like, they are McMansions. And this is not even like they were trying to build these into golf courses. This is literally just blank land that they couldn't do anything with. I mean, why would you build stuff like this? And they have collectors on the inside, like they're gonna have a ton of traffic, and they build them out. Look, they're expecting to build more neighborhoods here. I mean, it's just this stuff. And even then, these are existing houses that used to be here before these were here, and these are already huge. There's people that live out here in these giant ass houses. Look, these are new too. Look at these. What in the world? What kind of dystopian, like, nuke town is this? Everyone has white picket fences. Oh. And then this giant retention pond because you've covered everything in asphalt. So, and this one's a DNA helix for no reason. There's this little strip of houses out here that, one, these are huge, but these are where most of the NIMBYs live. And these people are so disconnected from the rest of the world. This is the only way to get in and out of this entire place, is this 2-lane road that then cuts through some of the most densely forested parts of Virginia Beach, through farmland and everything, to get back to, like, you know, society, which is even still all the way through here till you get to society. But and this is not a, you can't go this way because this is a Navy base. So the only way to get in and out is this one road, and down south is just nature. Like you can't. It's a park. You can't go this way. It's just uninhabitable. There's nothing down here other than this, which is Corolla, North Carolina. But this is a whole nother story because these are people are even worse. Um, Virginia Beach does this all the time, and I can't imagine them doing anything else other than suburbs. We have so many opportunities for um, stuff like this to happen. And I'm what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Google Maps again. Um, Good lord, there we go. What I'll do is I'll go to Vancouver because I use Vancouver as a good um, example sometimes. What Vancouver did during the height of the like it, the crashing of the market, pretty much. Where is Surrey? I cannot find. There it is. Um, what Vancouver did is they allowed developers to basically build on top of malls, pretty much. So instead of this just being a mall, they built. I mean, this is probably an office tower, but they built like urban development around a mall, and there are so many options to do that here. Right where I said this block was built by one company, this mall is currently happening. Developer bought it out. They're gonna build a condo, or they're gonna build apartments all around it. Senior living home, a couple hotels. They're gonna gut the inside of the mall and put apartments here, pretty much. Um, but it's not a permanent solution because it's a very limited plan. Yes, it may happen. There may be more in the future, but it's very small scale. There's only like three things they're going to be doing. Nowhere near, good lord, nowhere near anything like this. They like an actual urban development. Um, we have shopping malls all over the place that we can do that. The main mall in Virginia Beach is Lynn Haven Mall, and this thing is huge. And yes, it is constantly busy. This is a super busy mall, but you could clearly cut most of these parking lots out and build on top of it. Um, where's the other? This one, Red Mill. I think it's Red Mill. Um, this is Nemo. This is a huge, giant, giant. It's suburban mall. Hilltop is just all it's just all suburbs. Or all suburban development at least. And there's so much opportunity to take on top of that to build. I mean, the city has a very limited plan, and I will show that to you. And of course, woo, our city, our future, a choice city. Um, the Virginia Beach plans on having, um, there we go, transit-oriented development along the 264 Virginia Beach corridor, or Virginia Beach Boulevard corridor, which is this line right here, pretty much, that you can see these bigger buildings are developed along it. Um, so, and there's a couple closer in Norfolk, but you can see the green line, which never happened, and then all this is just farms. Um, they plan for this to be strategic growth areas, and that would just never happen. Um, and there's a map of it the other way, I guess. Um, they show these wonderful concept renderings and like master plans on how it's going to be laid out, and I'm going to show you some of the most just god awful ideas that I've ever seen this stupid city come up with. Um, there we go, town center. So town center is the name of this development. Remember what I said? This one bit of urban that we have. Um, this area is called town center because they named this town center. Um, this is all heavy industry. Like this is all zoned heavy industry. Um, and it's just all stuff like warehouses, and there's a car dealership here somewhere. I think yeah, there's a Mercedes dealership. Um, there's this concrete plant. There's a scrap yard. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that would never ever think about being all these offices and businesses and self storage units and more car dealerships. Um, the hell happened here? Did a nuke go off? Interesting. And you can also see, well, there's also infrastructure right here. There's just these random, like, 8 trailers, 8 like trailers here, and I don't. They've been here my entire life, and I have no idea what they are. I've never understood why those are there. But there's also this trailer park. There's another trailer park over here. Um, there's these offices and like a school over here. This is all new. This is all relatively urban, but this isn't. This is this is close, but not exactly because it's still not mixed use. You need mixed use development, but this is just you're in the right direction, but you're not all the way there. This is kind of half of what we want. Um, yeah, this is all these businesses and stuff. What the city plans on doing is just gutting this whole area, this entire giant area, and turning into just an entire block of city. Like, I'll zoom in on this. They plan on turning this into this giant, just city. And arguably, that would be the best thing to happen. You would want that to happen. But it will never, ever, 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 ever happen. This will never happen. In the existence of this city, this will never happen. Because all of these people that live around here and all these business owners that own businesses over here would never let this happen at all. At all. Not at all. Um, the I can't even imagine why they would think this would happen. Um, this also implies, if you see here down the middle, this also implies that the tide was built, which is the light rail that would have gone straight through this area um, in this line right here. It would have gone straight through this area, but it didn't because the city shot it down, or well, at least the populace shot it down. Um, this would be kind of the new center of Virginia Beach. It would really be a new age of how this city works. Um, Pretty recently, this got turned into apartments. Of course, Google Earth is not updated. This got turned into condos. This block right here where this scrapyard is going to be turned into condos here soon. So at least we're getting rid of some of it, and they plan this one company plans on like dominating the entire world. Um, and of course, it's the one company in eastern U.S. that is everywhere is the Breeden Company. And Breeden has been building stuff all over the damn city. They're building apartments down at the ocean front. They're building stuff in downtown Norfolk. They're building stuff now in downtown Virginia Beach. Um, so I don't know what is going to happen because that necessitates a lot of street realigning to happen. And I think they, oh no, I think they, somewhere they put a picture about that, about how many streets would need to be rewidened. Um, yeah, that would be a lot. Um, and I don't imagine that we will ever be close to something like this. They also plan this area down the street a little bit. This is Rosemont, kind of this area is called Rosemont. This is where, like, right, this road, this single road right here, leads to all of the rich people. Like, literally, this road goes to where all of these giant, ginormous, disgusting houses are. Um, yeah. So, the thought plan, the thought that they have to turn this into like apartments, and you can see the train that they thought there was going to come through here, and to turn this into apartments and turn this into a new TOD is just so absolutely surprising that I can't even imagine why they would ever think this could ever happen in the first place. Because this necessitates so much street rewidening or street like rebuilding. Um and all these, this is all like right here, these apartment buildings is, well, this is a senior living home. But all of this is like subsidized housing. Like these are like section 8 housing. And all of this back here is all just people that are so against their NIMBYs. I mean, everyone in this city is a NIMBY because they don't want. I don't know. I don't know what people want. I've lost hope because everyone that lives in this damn city is just a moron. And there's a Sam's Club. Who even goes to Sam's Club anymore? Um, and they want to do this everywhere. I mean, um, Lynn Haven Road. Where is this? Is this still Lynn Haven? Yeah, this is all north of Lynn Haven. They want to turn it into commercial area, and what is this? Small startup businesses, technology innovation. What? I haven't. I skimmed most of this document, but I know most of what the city is talking about. Um, and Hilltop too. This is right over by this area. This is all, and all of this housing is what the city wants to gut, to get rid of. Like all of this, that chunk right there, and all of this area. I just can't. It's just so stupid. Whoa, where's the concept for it? Yeah. I don't know. Um, we have a couple developers with a very large say in how the city runs, because that's how it's been for years, and they pay the city egregious amount of money to be able to do whatever they want. Um, Originally, Virginia Beach had a 100-foot height restriction on high rises down at the ocean front because of how close it is to the end of the runway for Oceana, and it interferes with the radar station, which is right here, the radar station for the whole airbase, pretty much. But Bruce Thompson, his lovely name, um, the first thing was allowed to build this monstrosity, which is not 100 feet tall. It's about 150 feet tall. He built this whole thing, this whole giant thing, and then went on to build a ton of hotels down here. Well, not all of these weren't Bruce Thompson. A lot of these hotels were built in like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. Some of them were built in like the 70s. But a lot of the giant like a lot of the giant newer hotels were built by the same goddamn company. Um, all of these two, that thing, um, the hotel that is currently here, but of course it's not on Google Maps. Um, the This hotel just got torn down, built a new one on top of it. Um, he kind of has the power in this city to do whatever he wants because he is untouchable and he brings so much tax income to the city that they want to continue to give him money to do. The the city built this early 2000s. It's a giant convention center. The roof is not actually like that. It's just Google Maps having a little bit of a tantrum. Um, but this was supposed to bring so much like money to the oceanfront, and it just never did because the city's still paying it off because it was such an expensive project. Um, Pharrell Williams, of all people, Pharrell Williams is a Virginia Beach native, and he wanted to help this city for God's sake. He was going to build a giant entertainment complex, pretty much a wave park and offices and apartments and an office and a new like entertainment venue on these three unutilized blocks right here that are just parking lot and just nothing. Um, but the city vaguely wanted him to do it, but they couldn't agree on money because the city kept saying it was too expensive. But I feel like the people in charge of this city are people who have only ever spent $1 on a gallon of milk. And they can't imagine that something that will be big and expensive is going to be big and expensive. Who would have fucking thought? Um, there's so much here that could be done to make Virginia Beach better. I am running for mayor now. There's so much that could be done that isn't done that we don't ever imagine doing because all these fucking people that live here are old and antiquated. I just noticed these two houses. Um, they're old and antiquated, and they can't imagine the city changing at all in any shape or form. So these houses are crammed on top of each other. These are kind of fine, but like these houses on the corner, good lord. Wow. Um, what is this? What's a church in front of a house? Imagine, imagine, imagine living here, and you have to live in front of a church. Imagine living here, you have to live in front of a church. What is this? What is this? What did I just find? What is what? What is this? What is this? Why is this no parking sign so big? Good lord. Why? Who designed this? Why would anyone? Why? 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 Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Also, there's a house behind a house. Interesting. I'm just gonna leave here because I'm just getting more. Whoa! I didn't want to zoom out that far. Uh, I'm, I'm leaving here. What? um, I don't know. I have a lot to rant about. I still have more to rant about. There's a lot of insider stuff that happens with this city. Um, that happens a lot, like a lot. Norfolk. Norfolk is the most progressive out of all of these fucking cities. Um, what I was saying earlier about building, on top of a mall. Um, I think over here they did that too. This whole downtown, yeah, they built on top of a mall pretty much. Um, yeah, right here. Um, I'll go back here so I can point at it and be angry. Um, what? Yeah, you can clearly see that this is older than this is. Um, this mall, Military Circle, which is a very dead mall, like literally it's closed. Also, I just realized that. Can I stop doing that, please? Thank you. Um, this mall is dead. Of all people, Bruce Thompson, the guy that I was talking about at the oceanfront, is going to buy this, tear it down, and build apartments on top of it. Which I don't know why that isn't happening in Virginia Beach because that's such an incredible, you know, thing to do with this much land. But no, Norfolk is the most progressive out of all the seven cities, and will continue to be for the rest of time. Chesapeake has its own mall. It's certainly a lot smaller, and it's certainly more dead than Virginia Beach has ever tried to be. Um, yeah, this mall is like dead. What is this? What the hell is this building? Interesting. Um, Chesapeake is vaguely trying to do something um progressive. There we go. This, our lovely store that everyone loves, Dollar Tree. This is Dollar Tree's headquarters. Dollar Tree was started in Chesapeake, and yeah, this is Dollar Tree's headquarters, and this is also their fucking warehouse. Um, Dollar Tree is building like a city of its own. So all this now is all apartments and stuff. It isn't built clearly in this, but it right now it's all built up as apartments. Um, and I find that to be progressive and good, and I like that. Uh, Dollar Tree's fighting a good fight. Um, Norfolk's downtown is very pretty. It's very cute. It's very urban development. Um, but it's also very dumb because this is where the tide goes. So it just kind of cuts straight through the city, which is good, but it kind of takes a couple turns that are a little too tight for the streetcars that they chose. Um, and then it just ends. It just ends at some point. Oh, there it is. Um, and this is a hospital. This is a hospital. Why would you ever need a hospital this big? I have never understood that. Why um, Norfolk General is this big. Um, Hampton Roads is dumb. My thought process. So, Hampton Roads is a giant ass metro city area, and um, I think this is our. I'm fairly certain this is our nuclear power plant. I'm fairly certain. Let me turn labels back on. Yeah, Dominion, Surrey. Um, so Richmond is a huge metro, and Richmond has a lot of big giant companies that live here that people work for. However, the new yeah Dominion. Woo. Um, the only way on and we have no commuter trains in Virginia pretty much at all. We have a couple commuter trains like up here. I'm fairly certain by DC, but not in like the rest of Virginia. Um, the only way to get like an Amtrak train from Hampton Roads to Richmond is to go. Oh, I'll move down here. Is to go out of Norfolk, go like down here all the way across, and then all the way up. Not jump the water and go over here. The only train track goes all the way this way, which makes the trip so inefficient and long. And that's because there is no way to cross this water at all. It is only by car because these two crossings are highways. There's no train tracks that go across the water. Um, there is train tracks that come straight to the end of here, to the end of Newport News, and this is where aircraft carriers are born. Um, it's almost funny that the shipyard and the naval station are right next to each other. Um, I propose if I was super overlord controller of the universe, I would immediately make universal health care, give everyone a universal basic income, and make trans inclusivity mandatory and give health care to trans people, but that's completely another conversation. Um, I would dig a tunnel, not myself, but I would have a tunnel made between pretty much right here at the port of Virginia, dig a tunnel straight under the water right over here so that you can have express trains that run from Norfolk right over the water, right up the peninsula straight to Richmond. Why does that why does that not make sense? And even then, you can get cargo over here without having to drive it. We also have the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, which is the only way to get from the eastern shore down here. And it's just a tiny little road. It's just 4 lanes on each side, and it's a very, very long bridge. And it takes quite a while to actually get to civilization because this is just all farm. Um, there we go. So yeah, um, uh, um, yeah. I think I need a drink. Virginia Beach is nowhere near getting close to the aquarium. Nowhere close to building. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna skip through this. The whoa. Oh yeah, we also have. There's also suburban focus areas. which is where the city wants to develop more suburbs. Really? Really? Why? Why? Why would you? I just don't. Pleasure House. Yeah, whatever. So much suburbs. I can't even. I can't. At this point, I can't even wonder what the hell they're doing anymore. Um, what? That was. There's 2 pages. This one's just stupid. Um, what do they want to do? Sandbridge, whatever. Yada yada. North End. Yada yada yada. Improvement reconstruction should use porous materials for driveways. What? It is the policy of the city to preserve designated historic structures and efforts to retain these resources. Woo! Whoa, watch out. Uh, yeah, this is all just junk. Um, Farming, yada yada yada. Noise zones. Yeah. Oh yeah, jets are jets are loud. I don't think anyone thinks about that, but jets are very very loud. Um, yeah, I think I've ranted. I've ranted enough about Virginia Beach so far. Um, we're a very old city. Um, Virginia Beach was the first, pretty much the English landed up here first. This is why this is called First Landing State Park. They landed up here before they went inland and settled at, where's Jamestown? There it is. This is this is Jamestown, pretty much this kind of area. Um, yeah, right here. This is the Jamestown like museum, whatever. Um, so they went upriver and landed up here, but they originally had stopped here. This is where, you know, what is that? Um, First Landing State Park, very old city. Um, Virginia Beach. So Virginia Beach itself used to not be a city. Virginia Beach, the city, was just the ocean front. Like it was just this area right here where I'm circling. And this whole rest of Virginia Beach was called Princess Anne County. Um, Norfolk, which is right here, Norfolk, in its bid to become the um, center of the seven cities, and its bid to become bigger because it's completely 100% outgrown its board. Virginia Beach still has a ton of land to expand into. Norfolk has completely filled every square inch of its available city. Um, Norfolk started trying to buy out bits of Virginia Beach over here on the kind of this general area is the Virginia Beach border between Norfolk and Virginia Beach is this kind of line. Um, so what Virginia Beach or what Princess Anne County did is it said, "Fuck you, Norfolk. We're going over here," and Princess Anne County merged with Virginia Beach, and to stop them cutting land from each other. So there's a long seated like generational hatred of Norfolk and like between Norfolk and Virginia Beach, and that's why the tide didn't go through because Virginia Beach hates Norfolk. Um, it's a lot of suburbs, um, like a lot of suburbs. Our schools are nice. Um, not, I mean, it's a suburban hellhole. What do you expect? Schools are nice. This is Norfolk, but still. Um, weather is muggy, but yeah, I don't have much else. I've kind of ranted about everything I wanted to rant about, and my frustrations with this dumbass city and its inability to want urban development. Um, and it's just all the old people, every bit of old people in this world. I would love to not live in Virginia Beach, but I know how to get around Virginia Beach. I know how to navigate our giant, disgusting stroads. Um, I know our school systems. I know our God. I know our how we work and all of that. So I'll probably stick around here, at least for a while. But we'll see. We'll see about that one. Um, I don't know. This was a shorter. Last mouthwash was almost 2 hours. Um, yeah. So, and our highway is dumb because it's these huge interchanges. Frustration. So that's what I'm gonna leave you with. Um, Virginia Beach is terrible in an urban planning and you know like infrastructure view, but other than that, it's a fine city. Um, I will be streaming again today. I'll be doing probably, I think, a build stream on Minecraft. Ooh woo. Um, I'll figure that out and I will post a time at some point. But yeah, I love you all. Thank you for watching Mouthwash. Follow me everywhere. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Join my Discord. We have some fun there. Um, yeah, follow me on all the socials, and hopefully I will see you guys later tonight. Love you all. Let me know if you want me to talk about stuff for next mouthwash. Hit me up on Discord. Hit me up on Twitter. Um, next time I'm not just gonna be ranty and pointing. I'm actually gonna have um, stuff to talk about. This one was kind of just me venting about stuff. Next mouthwash, for the most part, we'll be talking about some world building and my struggles with world building, but that will be for next Monday. Love you all. Have a good night. Bye.